Hey guys, Full/Polygon here. Welcome to episode 23. Been a while, but in the time that has transpired, Dark Souls 2 has finally come out, man. After what seems like months and months and months of active waiting, it is here. So I picked it up day one, been playing it, and not much else since then. I'm sure that's been the case for most of us. It's kind of evidenced by my PS3 friends list, man. Everybody's just glued to Dark Souls 2. It makes me wonder, like, when do you guys sleep? Good lord. But anyways, I kind of sat on this video for a while because I'm not really sure where to go with Dark Souls 2 content. I'm still not sure. But I do know I do not want to spoil anything. I do not want to do a Let's Play. I don't want to do a playthrough. I don't want to reveal anything that might ruin somebody's first experiences with the game. So as a personal guarantee, no spoilers in this video or the next couple to come. Instead, I thought I would take them maybe in the direction of some discussion and initial impressions and just kind of fun stuff, playing through the game for the first time, some discoveries, some pros and cons, likes, dislikes, all that kind of thing. Because I gotta say, man, I was kind of disappointed with it for about the first week. Blasphemy, I know, but I came around. Here we go. So that being said, I am going to do my damnedest not to spoil anything. But, fair warning, there is gameplay footage going on in the background. I'm talking Dark Souls 2, I'm playing the game, I've got a crap ton of footage that I need to figure out something to do with. So it's going to be sprinkled in here. So if you want a completely pristine, a completely fresh, un-yellow snow experience through the game, I'm not going to be able to provide that. It'd be pretty tough to get that. You'd have to go hide under a rock and avoid media and press and buzz and all that kind of thing. Probably not talk to your buddies. But that's actually, segue, what I'm trying to do. I have actually been pretty neglectful of a lot of my favorite channels, so I do apologize to those guys out there. But there's a lot of playthroughs going on right now. There's a lot of Let's Plays, a lot of completed runs through the game that I am just completely ignoring because I am trying to have that first time experience with the game, not looking anything up, not even really talking to people about it, just going out there in awe and wonder and trying to discover the marvels of Dark Souls 2 for the very first time. You only get one shot at that, so I'm really pulling the ostrich maneuver with my head in the sand about Dark Souls 2 stuff, and that's really why I don't want to put out a playthrough or a Let's Play or reveal anything about the game. You know, even in this clip, I'm just kind of, I clearly don't know where anything is. I'm just kind of running around looking at everything, reading item descriptions. This is interesting, this Bone of Order, if you haven't checked that out. I'll talk about that a little bit down the way, but I haven't had a chance to use it yet, but it kind of negates the disconnection stuff. There are penalties for disconnecting. All of those times you invade somebody and disconnected from Master of World. They, from software, thought of it and implemented something. So I'd be curious to hear how that works or experience how that works down the way. But yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of running around. I am just really enjoying the hell out of that experience of not knowing where to go, of running into those areas where you're not supposed to be yet and you're super underleveled and underpowered and just getting one shot by some enemy or something like that. That is so great. You know, you've played through Dark Souls so many times, you played through Demon Souls so many times. It's always fun to play through, but it can become a little bit rote. And this fresh out-of-the-box experience has been so wonderful. That sounds so cheesy, but it has just been a delight. A real treat, man. So my plan is just to kind of move at my own pace. I'm moving really slowly. I am taking my sweet fucking time. I've started over probably like 10 times too, just playing around with characters and that kind of thing. So I am not moving fast. I have not finished the game. But when I do, then I'll probably start in with some of the more Let's Play style stuff or some of the PvP stuff when the metagame gets a little bit more figured out within the community and all that kind of thing. But for the most part, I am just enjoying the dickens out of the childhood sense of wonder. Like this, oh, big ass footprints. Probably something terrible at the end of this. Let's follow them. Look at that guy. That looks completely safe. Let's go in for a closer look. But so speaking of the starting over thing, I'm going to tie that back to what I said in the head of the episode about being disappointed with the game for my first week. Because kind of looking at it in retrospect, that was wholly the wrong mind, or it's because I went into this thing with wholly the wrong mindset. When I initially picked up this game, I thought it was just going to be a continuation of Dark Souls in terms of the way it played or in terms of the way that it handled. I was almost treating it like DLC. I was treating it kind of like the Ulasil stuff in the original Dark Souls, where it's the same game. You get some new weapons, there's some new enemies, some new bosses to take on and things like that. But for the most part, you're able to just pick up exactly where you left off. And that was just idiocy on my part. It seems kind of simple to say. It seems foolish to say now that I'm airing this, speaking this out loud. But I went into this thing kind of thinking that I got it. I knew what to do in terms of putting a build together. And I was trying to make Dark Souls 2 fit into what I knew with Dark Souls, the original one. And that is just fucking stupid. And it kind of ties into a lot of the stuff that I had heard in terms of pre-release concern about like the way that your character's handled and the controls being loose and things like that. I would say they are. It definitely is. If you try and play this game, if you try and move like you do in Dark Souls, you're going to have a pretty rough go of it. I think I included a pretty hilarious montage down the way of trying to jump. I had so much fucking difficulty jumping with like that L3 trigger, where you push the little 6-axis dot or whatever it is. I don't know the name of the controller buttons or things like that, but like I fell off so many goddamn ledges trying to jump. And just simple little things like that where it's like, this is not Dark Souls, this is different. And it wasn't until I went out of town for the weekend and didn't play for a couple of days and thought about it and was like, of course, you moron, it's not Dark Souls. You need to approach this as a radically different game. It is a new game. Yes, it's a sequel, but how boring would it be if it really was just that DLC type experience? This is kind of funny. I got my stuff back. I was going to give this guy a condescending gesture, but he turned around and was kind of like, run for your life. But yeah, I mean, that would be so boring if you just got, 20, 40, 60 hours, however long it takes to play through this thing, of the same that you had in Dark Souls 1. There wasn't really anything new mechanically to pick up. Maybe some configuration of buttons are a little bit different, or the way that you execute things is a little bit different, and it was just new weapons and armor and stuff like that. I don't know. I was a fool about it. Did you guys fall into that same trap? Like when you first picked it up, did you find yourself getting kind of stuck in like that, well, this is different than Dark Souls and this sucks, without really trying to maybe get it or understand it? I sure did. And it was a rough go. And that was completely responsible for my saying I was disappointed with it. I'm not disappointed in it for my first week. I'm disappointed in myself for the terrible approach vector I took to experiencing this game. And like I said, I have since come around and I am just having a great time with the newness of the game. And once I got over the feeling that I needed to know everything or I needed to understand everything, and it's not getting stuck in like, well, I don't want to spend a point in this because I'm not sure how that's going to turn out to my character development later down the way. It's like, who cares? Just level up whatever it is that you're going to level up. You've got all the time in the world to go back and perfect a build. It's the first playthrough. Play it for what it is, experience it for what it is, and just have a good time. Don't worry about the technical aspects of it. Ah, yes, and so begins the aforementioned montage of jumping fails. My god, man, this ledge in the tutorial area gave me so much grief. There I was, trying to move like Dark Souls. And it's funny, too, like, how many bloodstains you touch, and it'll be an accidental fall off a ledge, where the guy, like I just did, kind of turns back towards the ledge as he plummets to his doom. So many of those. So clearly it's not just me, but my god, man, if anybody out there had as much difficulty getting the jumping mechanic down as I did, please let me know, because I just feel like a fool. I just look back on this and shudder. And it's funny because like jumping seems a lot different than in the original Dark Souls, because not only do you jump not as far, adaptability changes all this, of course, but your vertical is terrible, man. You can barely get off the ground. It's ridiculous. So I bit it probably 5 or 6 times in the tutorial area to this little ledge, both trying to get across it and mostly trying to get back. Sigh. So I got to witness firsthand the degradation of my character's appearance, which is another thing, man. You get ugly quick as you die and your humanity gets chipped away and you just start to go more and more hollow. Your hair starts falling out and it is just not sightly. Hooray for me or having the coordination of a 6-year-old making it across the ledge. I included this part too, just a funny thing to point out, this tail end of the character creation process, because this question it asks you always gives me pause. You say finalize and it says, is this your true self? It's like, good God, Dark Souls 2, that's kind of a heavy question, don't you think? Triggering some deep introspection of the self. Is this your true self? No, I'm just kidding. But that's kind of a weighted question. It's a funny way to phrase it. And actually, this character, when I finally do make it out of the tutorial area, good lord, 6 deaths later, this is what I'm playing through now. I'm playing as a sorcerer, and I'm actually trying to dual-wield daggers too, just to capture a little bit of nostalgia. I remember back my first tangent, my first character ever in Demon's Souls that I remember with great fondness was a sorcerer. Actually, it was a wizard in Demon's Souls, semantic difference, and I was rocking a moon secret dagger through the whole thing, so spells and knives. Those good times. I'm just trying to capture that a little bit here. Have some fun. But the dual wielding I will talk about is super cool. I fucking love the fact that your offhand weapon is just a mirror of your main hand weapon. I think it's pretty cool that you could theoretically go through the game left-handed, because your R1, R1, R1 spams with the right-hand weapon, your L1, L1, L1 spams with the offhand weapon in exactly the same way, the same moveset just mirrored as the other weapon. That is super cool. Same thing with the strong attacks. So you lose the ability to parry, at least from what I've seen with your offhand weapon. But it is completely viable. And I think that's kind of cool that you can start building, I don't know why, but it's kind of cool that you can start building left-handed characters. That is slick as hell. And I really love the ambidextrous qualities that your character has, where either way, I'm thinking about doing that with this character, rocking that catalyst in the right and then having a completely viable offhand weapon where I can chain and combo and spam and do all that kind of fun stuff in the left hand. That is slick. And I'm curious to start playing around with that power moveset too, or the power stance, or whatever it's called, when you dual wield 2 of the same class weapons, and then you get like a completely third, or almost a third moveset, your left hand, your main hand, and then this power stance, or whatever it is. Starting off as the sorcerer, I don't have the adaptability or dexterity or whatever stat lets me do that yet. I've tried it a couple times, and she just won't go into it, so I'll figure that out. Not gonna look it up, gotta learn for myself. But that's gonna be pretty cool, between the spells, the knives, dual wielded, and then also that power stance. So I'm looking forward to this character a lot. Another thing I'm really digging is how good it feels to hit something in this game. When you run up and smack something, like this character is just rocking daggers, but even with the dagger, on another character I picked up that fire long sword and was playing around with that for a little bit, but the feeling of running up to an enemy and taking a chunk out of them feels so good, because the sound effect is great. It is this hefty crunch. I don't know how else to describe it, and I think you get a little tactile feedback from the controller too, and so it feels like you are just beating the crap out of whatever it is that you're running up and hitting, and I really dig that. I don't remember that feeling in Dark Souls, so maybe that's something new that they've added, but it is enjoyable to just run up on something, grab your weapon with both hands, and just away. That was odd. Perhaps I'm starting a new career in Foley work. Some sound effects there. But it feels really nice to hit things in this game. That's pretty cool. And then in general, I'm really digging the vibe of the game too. It has a dark fantasy vibe, where Dark Souls, even though it was kind of a dark fantasy world, it always felt kind of light. I think that's a combination between the actual lighting effects and then also just kind of the design of the game. Dark Souls 2 is really dark. It feels bleak. It feels kind of weighty and depressing, and the lighting effects are fantastic, and it just, I don't know, the vibe of it I really like more than Dark Souls. I noticed that kind of out of the gate, even here in this tutorial section. You know, superseding the fact that it was new and getting past the excitement of it being fresh and exciting, I really love the shit out of the way the world feels. I'm just kind of ensorcelled by Drangleic so far. That did not work well at all. So yeah, man, in conclusion of that long rambly section, my first impression of meh was obviously biased. I went about it the wrong way. I was just a fool. Oh my goodness, that is hideous. But once I kind of pulled my head out of my ass and started looking at the thing for what it is, not expecting it to be just a continuation of Dark Souls and all that kind of thing, I am just loving it. I am having a great time. I think it's super cool. I cannot wait to play this thing over and over and over again. And I can't wait to see kind of what comes out of it. When I do open up my world a little bit and start watching some of the other Let's Plays and videos and stuff like that, and just kind of checking it out, I cannot wait to see what I missed having gone through it, going back and doing things differently, goofing around with some other classes and experiencing different weapons and movesets and stuff like that. Man, I'm stoked. What do you guys think of? Like, what are your impressions on it? Would you do, anybody out there get into the same trap that I did in terms of expecting it to be too much like Dark Souls, and you're kind of like, well, this feels, I don't know about this, or did you just kind of fall in love with it out of the gate? Let me know your thoughts and experiences. I'd be very curious to hear. Try not to spoil anything, if you would, if I can make a request. But yeah, let me know, man, because I'm digging it. I am looking forward to my nights when I can just sit down and play. Oh, so you know what? Okay, so one more quick thing too that I love, which seems kind of goofy and is utterly inconsequential to the bigger picture, but they sped up these splash screens. I remember from Dark Souls, like, quitting and reloading seemed to take forever as the From Software logo and the Havoc logo and all that kind of stuff just lingered for way too long, and they sped it up. And I get so much satisfaction out of that. It is ridiculous. That is so stupid, but I dig it. Thank you for doing that. Oh heavens. All right, I'm gonna call it there. Hit me up. Let me know what you think. And as always, feedback, comments, thumbs up, thumbs down, the whole YouTube interactive shabazz. Let me know. I'm going to bust out to Majula here, get some daylight for my troubles. I'll keep at it, and I will see you next time. Thanks.